The first day of every broadcast week. Sam, I feel like that one was for you, my man. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's usually a Monday. Sometimes it's a Tuesday. Our friends at Kuby Energy get our week started off on the right foot with one of our favorite features. It's called Positive Reflections. You know, this builds off our Remembrance Day special episode of Real Talk, and Kevin took the time to send us an email, just big thank you in the subject line. He says, the show today, he wrote this just hours after we went off air, incredibly powerful and raw, and honestly, Kevin says, I think it might be the best episode you've done. He says, I was in tears through the broadcast, and I don't regret any of that emotion for a second. Ryan, he says, you said how these conversations help you process what days like Remembrance Day are all about, and that's certainly the case for me, as are most days on Real Talk. He said, you read an email from a Real Talker that said that he's got an analytical mind and that shows like Real Talk help them process things, and Kevin says that describes me to a T. You talk about how you have trouble relating to people who have served, given the freedoms we have and the relatively easy lives we lead, entirely a result of sacrifices made during these wars. Kevin says, I couldn't help but realize during that November 11th broadcast, we keep focusing on soldiers who fought and who continue to fight, and it's nearly impossible to relate to what that must be like. Retired warrant officer Stephen Ferry, the medic, described, as did former war correspondent Catherine O'Neill, that we're talking about human beings and defined experiences and traumas that result from serving their country to ensure freedoms are not lost. We must remind ourselves, says Kevin, the intense consequences and toll that war takes on families and in homes for generations. He says that movie 1917 that popped up during the show was so incredible. It reminded me when I was in high school in the late 90s. We've been learning about the world wars, but through textbooks, and we got a sense of what it may have been like, but not really until our history teacher allowed us to watch Saving Private Ryan in class. I remember it giving me chills throughout. I was overwhelmed that painfully realistic depiction the movie portrayed. He says, I was captivated. I felt obligated to watch to the end. I finally realized what war truly meant, and it hit me, left me extremely grateful to those who serve and for the freedoms we enjoy. Kevin said, I'm grateful beyond words for this Real Talk community and how we can share these moments together, even the quiet but powerful ones. We process them together, sometimes in our own ways, but the show gives me the ability to not just process meaning, but to process things from different perspectives. And I hope it provides all of us peace in truly understanding what all this means. He says it was an incredible and beautiful episode. Thanks to the team and the audience for truly honoring what Remembrance Day is all about. That from Kevin. Well, Kevin, that filled our bucket, and it's got our focus in the right spot as we endeavor to continue to provide these conversations ongoing. Thanks for taking the time to share your personal perspective, your experiences, and what filled your bucket as a result of a conversation right here on Real Talk. Coming up tomorrow, November 16th, we're going to talk to author Dorothy Palmer about representation. It's a call for arms for disabled and seniors' rights. Plus, we'll know more about that child care deal with the province of Alberta, the federal government, and of course, we'll dig into what it means for you, regardless of where you're tuning in from. Make it a great Monday, friends. Thanks for joining us for Real Talk. We'll see you again tomorrow.